From barrier construction to wicked hangovers and interesting delicacies. Hello, Magi here, and welcome back to another episode of Top 5 Touhou Doujin Works. The series where I look over doujin work I've noticed throughout the week and had the need to tell you guys about it. So without further ado, let's begin the Top 5 Touhou Doujin Works number 19. Number 5. So with Gensokyo, I'm sure you're well aware that there are many kinds of yokai throughout this world. So it would be best to stay in the village as it's probably your safe bet in bloody living. But sometimes people get a Chiruno moment and do things they clearly shouldn't. This work called Alice in the Witch Forest, created by Gin Ichi, suggested by the OVJM, begins with some monologue of a young girl. We see that the girl goes beyond the fence even though she wasn't supposed to. As she was about to give up hope while wandering this lost forest, she stumbles upon a house. This house belongs to a certain puppeteer you know quite well. This girl meets with Alice and spends a few days with her before having to depart. After that though, all bets are off. You just gotta read it to understand what I'm talking about. I'll just say this. Holy fucking shit! Number 4. One of the most important events of Gensokyo would probably be the creation of the Hakurei barrier. Without it, yokais would not have the safe haven they have today. So if a work is talking about creating the barrier, I was curious about it. Indigo Inherit, created by Okagi Senbei, is a work that primarily focuses in the past, where the concept was first thought of. It's quite a long time ago as Ran is only a child during this event. The timeline in this work shifts quite often, so it can get a little confusing at first. But aside from that, it's an interesting work detailing the ways in creating the barrier and the extent of which Yukari will do in order to create one that would work indefinite. But in the end, it seems there's a limit to what Yukari would do to ensure her goal. If you want Little Ran, this work covers that well. Number 3. So what do you get when you combine eating with an action-like tone? Probably something weird, but hilarious. This work called Glutton Moku, created by Amida Kuzu, focuses on Moku and Kaguya competing each other in a eating contest. But before we head to the event, we get a flashback to when Moku was about to attempt an eating challenge when she met a person we will call the Master. Here, the Master explains to Moku that a certain gatekeeper would fail her challenge. After seeing that the Master was correct, Moku asked to be trained by her. We later see that Moku received tips on what not to do during an eating competition. Let's just say when you have a master like her, losing is something that won't ever happen again. And if anything, if you're ever planning on going to a buffet, these tips will help you. I actually use these so I can verify they're legit. Keep on eating, to a reasonable level anyway. Number 2. I'm sure you've probably experienced it once in your life, but if you drink too much alcohol, you'll get drunk and it's not the best of feelings. For my younger viewers who can't drink alcohol yet, when you do so, do it moderately or you're going to regret it. So if you're drunk and after you sleep, you might experience something called a hangover. From my personal experience, it was a very painful headache. Going to work while having a hangover is not a pleasant time, I can promise you that. After explaining this whole thing, you can guess where I'm going with this. Tengu Over, created by Fuente, revolves around Aya, Hotate, and Momoji. After being completely hammered, neither three remember the events that had occurred that night. Which is something considering Aya lost her camera, Momoji is shaved, and Hotate is pregnant, with a little drizzle of jetpacks on their fucking back. Yeah, that was one hell of a night. Simply put, this doujin work will showcase these three going on a journey as they try to recall the events that had happened last night. If these girls weren't a good case of it, drinking excessively can lead to many problems. And no matter what, human or yokai, you're gonna regret it. Number 1. In keeping with the eating tone, let's review another work about it. Kaminar, created by Yakumi Sari, or Zunus, suggested by Shinigami Kenpachi, is a work that follows Sanae. Here, we learn that the Tengu are going to be having an offering. Momiji discussed the event with Kaneko, Suiko, and Sanae. It's there that we learn that the offering is a human. Outraged by it, she goes to Reimu's place and announced that they should exterminate Kaneko and Suiko for partaking in this practice. Reading this, it's strange to see Sanae adamantly angry at the two goddesses, as it's not something you commonly see. After talking to various characters like Marissa and Kane about her thoughts about this whole sacrifice deal, Sanae returns to her home. As the awaited day happens, Sanae joins with Kaneko and Suiko. It's there that the two goddesses remind Sanae she has a choice. Sanae, who is that? What is that? Don't put your hands together. Neither side is wrong. This is human flesh. It is an offering, the embodiment of faith. It is sustaining on human reverence, the path towards the gods. It is consuming a human falling to heresy. No matter what you choose, there is no turning back. In my opinion, this is a powerful work. It shows us, Sanae, a human from the outside world, growing up with the beliefs and cultures from that time, having to participate in what she considered to be a barbaric custom. Not only that, we also see what her thoughts are when it came to her existence as the Moria Shrine Maiden and what it meant to her. It really makes you think about it. If you were put in her situation, would you do it? But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Which doujin work are you going to check out after? Would you love to see Moku and Kaguya competing in an eating contest? Would you love to see the adventures of Aya, Momiji, and Hatate as they try to recall that previous night? And are you curious to see what Sanae's decision will be in the end? Like always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, please give it a like and subscribe, or else I might be offered one day. And that would fucking suck a lot. Either way, this is Magi and thanks again for watching.